Hello and a belated Merry Christmas and an early Happy New Year from both of us here at FPL Apprentice, still the only podcast and series that delves into the minds of one of the greatest FPL player of all time. It is, of course, former world number one, Mr. Matthew Corbett. Matt, how are you, sir? How did Father Christmas treat you?
Oh, but yeah, not too bad. I've been a good boy this year, so yeah, I can't complain. And yeah, belated Merry Christmas to you. Do you have a good one?
Yeah, decent. Back with the family, standard stuff. Plenty of drink, plenty of food. Didn't have to cook. Did do some dishes, but when you're not the chef, that's only fair. Did you get away with it?
Yeah, I was on, what was it, drying duty, plate drying duty. That was the extent of my chores.
You'll
So
take that.
yeah,
Yep.
kind of like
It's a free turkey meal out of it. That is all we can ask for.
exactly. Yeah.
And how
Did
did how,
the Premier League did that kind of ruin any of the magic of the period for you, or did it treat you well?
no, well, not too bad, mate. I know I was driving home on the 27th, back where I am now, and Liverpool were on, so I got to listen to it on the drive. Luckily, we won, although at one point it seemed like we were going to throw it away. And spoilers, I managed to get a green arrow in the FPL world as well. So yeah,
Oh,
not a
wow.
bad, not a bad weekend from the football or Christmas period so far. What about yourself?
Uh, I didn't really pay much attention, to be honest. I think I was kind of like doing a impromptu digital detox. I wasn't really looking at my phone at all, so I was kind of a bit
Nice.
oblivious to it, which was nice. I think yeah, for me it was. I think like a lot of people, this last game week a bit of a tough one there. So you squeezing out a green hour is kind of super impressive. Um,
Yeah,
I
go on,
mean, I
do it.
mean, should we
Jumped in.
jump into it?
Yeah, I don't mind. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go?
Yeah, you do the honors, mate. I'm intrigued. I think there's probably a certain defender that you won't that could helped you get the
Pretty
green.
much. Pretty much. Uh, right on the nose, mate. Michael Keane. So yeah, 52 points overall, 3 million rank, or just outside the 3 million point. So yeah, he's over the average. It was a green arrow from 47k down to 37k. So a decent rise. You also, I did two transfers for the game week. That was I'd already done them when we last caught up. So that was Bruno and Giu out for Devaney and Ekatike. Devaney managed to start the game. I bought him to be bench for me. He was 4.3 million. It was really for the budget reasons. And Ekatike came in and got a return. The other thought I was having was doing with the other transfer I had, Semenyo to Cunha. Didn't do it, thankfully. Obviously, Cunha came out with 2 points. Semenyo came out with 9. So I've rolled that transfer. So I've now got 2 going into this game week, which is cool. But yeah, the main return that probably got me there was from Michael Keane. He got 6 points, 2 for starting, 4 for the clean sheet. He then got Defcon on top, so that took him to 8, and then 2 bonus points. And that's 6.4% owned. Uh, big reason I got the green arrow. But yeah, scattered about me. So to run through it, the defense was a letdown other than Keane. Raya 2 points, he conceded. O'Reilly got 1 point. Virgil van Dijk, obviously Liverpool conceded 2 against Wolves. He got 2. But then the front 8, other than the 2 City lads, Foden didn't get anything. 2 points for him. Haaland as captain, 2 double to 4. The rest of them got returns. So a goal for Semenyo, uh, which was really cool to see. He then ended up getting 3 bonus points, so he took in 9, and then got 4 assists across the front line. So Wilson, Ekatike, and Thiago all getting an assist to take their points to 5. Saka getting an assist, but also a bonus to take
Mm.
him to 7. So 52 overall. Nice green arrow. Can't complain too much. I know Anderson's on the bench, but I wasn't ever going. He got a clean sheet, but he did get a booking, so he only got 5 points there. I was never really going to start him over O'Reilly or Virgil van Dijk, so I'm not too bitter
Yep.
about it. And I definitely wasn't ever going to start Dubravka over Raya. So those 11 points of Dubravka on the bench were never going to be on the pitch. So again, it's hard to be upset about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell, mate.
That's looking good. I think yeah, Michael Keane has been probably one of the best full value assets this year, like if not the best, right? I think playing for an okay defense, racking in bonus and defcon when he does keep a clean sheet. Yeah, there's a lot to like, and he's on a really nice little run. Yeah, I think
Yeah, he's been doing really well. And considering they were playing Burnley, no offense to Burnley, but he got 21 DEFCON. Because
Mm.
you'd expect that Everton maybe have a little bit more of the ball. But yeah, really nice to see. Obviously, got a clean sheet against Forest. The highlight was when he got the goal and a clean sheet and bonus points against Fulham. But yeah, for 4.5 million, which is what I bought him for, he's been doing me pretty well. And he ended up. You probably remember I started with Tarkowski, and then when I wildcarded in game week 8, I think it was from memory. I need a budget, so I moved to Keane with Branthwaite being longer out. The downside for Keane is it looks as though Branthwaite will be back in maybe 3 game weeks' time.
Yeah.
So I need to keep an eye on his minutes.
No, I think I was going to just I was going to comment as well. I think at the moment it's probably not got the Tarkowski doesn't deserve that premium over Keane at all. Right? I think he's worth defensive contributions and goal threat, right? Which yeah, double whammy. I saw quite a few people bringing Tarkowski as well this week, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens when Branthwaite comes back. Obviously, he was out with a hamstring injury, wasn't he? And he's been out for pretty much the whole season, right? So will he start straight away? I don't know.
I don't think
And
so.
also,
You know what? And
it'd be hard to
I'm
drop
for
Keane
that.
as well. He's played very well as
Yeah.
outside of fantasy as well, right? In real life, he's playing pretty solidly.
Yeah, and I'm not too, those games, if it takes 2, 3 weeks before Brentford gets a start, hopefully Keane still gets 60 minutes. Might sneak a clean sheet before Everton concede late in the game, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not completely against it. I appreciate it removes his DEFCON effectiveness, but I've got value in him. I can sell him for 4.6. There's plenty of 4.5, 4.6 defenders I can replace him with. I could go back to Richards or Palace. United have got a few options at that price point if I want to hit a fixture run for them. So yeah, he's easily exitable.
No, very nice. And were you happy with the transfers that you made?
Longer term, Ekatike, yes, very much so. I think he hit the post as well, so he could quite easily have got more return, probably a double digit if that goes in. I know what, I'll be honest, I'm more happy with the transfer I didn't do. Managed to keep Semenyo in for that extra game week despite budget, now ruling me out of doing that in one go. But he got that return, and his figures were much better. We commented last week that although Semenyo was scoring, his expected goal involvement data wasn't there. Well, in the last 2 weeks, it's come back.
Mm-hmm.
0.83 against Brentford away, 0.54 the week before. Um, Now, there is talk about him going to City, and if that happens, I don't think he's probably as much as an FPL asset purely for the fact he'll no longer be 90 minutes, he'll no longer be on penalties, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. So
It's
prefer
all through the
that.
run, right? It's Chelsea away, Arsenal home,
Yeah,
Spurs home, Brighton away, Liverpool home, right?
it's not great. Not great. I
Um,
can sell. He might go this week. It's hard, which is weird, right? Because he scored in 3 games in a row. It's hard to sell somebody that scored in that many, but yeah, the
mhm.
the fixture run's pretty poor.
No, nice, mate. No, congrats getting that kind of like green arrow. I think for engaged players, well, Mendy did better than that. So I think yeah, you should be really
I'll
happy.
take it.
Really happy with that. And
I'll
yeah,
take it.
team and squad is looking solid. Let me share mine. Bear with me.
Yeah, because there's a bit of action on yours. I think when we caught up last week, mate, you were on one transfer. You'd done Bruno out with his injury, bought in
Yeah.
Cunha, but I
So,
can see that there's 3 in total.
yeah, so let's start with the transfers. So I kind of moved out, Fernandez to kind of Cunha super early just because I thought Cunha was the standout midfield, kind of like asset, almost like regardless, right? So I did that early, and then just 3 minutes before the deadline, I kind of took out Minter and Thiago for Lafay and Ekatike. So used a lot of transfers. Net, I was up probably a small amount, given my bench wasn't really active at all. I guess let's talk about the other options that I had, right? Because I think it was a bit touch and go. I could have just rolled with purely Fernandez to Cunha, right? Mincer was benched actually, right? So kind of
Was it? I
had
didn't
been
see that he
pretty.
got benched.
Yeah. I think he didn't start. So yeah, I was kind of laughing when I saw that kind of happen. But yeah, Sunderland with Lafayette being his replacements, they weren't great. But yeah, could have just done that Fernandez to Cunha move. Other alternatives that I had were like Thiago's a perfectly good asset, and he proved that against proved it this weekend against Bournemouth, right? Because I think he the stats were looking better. He got an assist, right? He was quite involved, right? Kind of throughout
Oh, yeah.
the game as
He
well.
should
He
have had
kind of
two.
yeah,
Should have had
right.
two. I mean, there was a pass on for an open goal for a teammate. I don't think he should have got the one where he, the own goal where he took the shot because
No,
it
he
took
was
like
very active and
three deflections.
he was very active and very involved. How much that was Brentford, how much that was the Bournemouth defense, which like it does seem to be a bit of a away from home. They seem to be so open like at the moment. But yeah, Thiago's perfectly good asset. So I was kind of it was a bit of like, hey, let's just jump on Ekatike. It will be a bit of fun for a couple of game weeks. I didn't really like the kind of other alternatives, but it was kind of a bit frivolous with my transfers, right? It wasn't optimal played, but kind of like I was kind of sniffing out a potential big haul from Ekatike, which he performed quite well. As you said, he kind of hit the post as well, right? And was kind of fairly involved. He got his assist. But yeah, other moves, I could have just rolled it, right? I could have brought in, I was considering Verts the Semenyo. I'm glad I didn't, right? I know he got his goal, but like beyond like 1 or 2 game weeks, I kind of would hate to have him in my squad, right? So yeah, Verts in would have been up, and I think the other one was I had so much cash, was probably bringing in Keane or Tarkowski for Anderson or kind of Richards, right? Which would have probably given me a better team structure, and I would have been up on points, right? So yeah, I used a few transfers. I didn't get killed for it, but yeah, overall not great. But hey, I've got Ekatike in my team now for yeah, at least Leeds and Fulham, which is nice, and potentially then for Burnley at home as well. So yeah, got a dangerous looking player, which is which is cool. Yeah, elsewhere like very similar
Sorry,
to you. Oh, sorry,
sorry
mate.
to interrupt, Paul. I'm sorry if I talked you out of Verts. I remember you bringing him up last week, and I was like, nah. The FPL stats aren't there, pal. He's looking better, but not from a return point of view. And then, of course, he scores his first ever goal for Liverpool.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was kind of pointed towards that, given that he was going to play and be an attacking, playing a weak team in Wolves, and yeah, he'd be just playing the attacking kind of four, right? But yeah, I'm kind of I would have had to move Semenyo out, right? So like, I mean, it's not much of a difference there. But yeah, rest of the team, I think it's kind of very similar to kind of you, right? So yeah, I got 41 points. Um, a fairly large red arrow, so now like 240k in terms of ranks of like, yeah, kind of plummeted quite a lot. Last couple of game weeks have been, yeah, 4 reds in a row, which is partly the chip effect. I did play chips during some of those weeks as well, but yeah, kind of not been hitting the kind of right picks the last couple of weeks. But yeah, Raya, Van Dyke. Van Dyke has been dreadful. Really, like I think a lot of us who still got him have shown a lot of patience, but he's not even getting near defensive contributions. Right, 7, 7 for 5 the last
Nothing on it.
3 game weeks. Like the defensive stats aren't great. Right. I mean, you could have said, hey, they could have probably got. Oh, they got a game clean sheet and kind of against Brighton in 16. That's about fair. They're not doing great defensively. So yeah, he's been poor. O'Reilly, I guess Manchester City is still finding ways to concede, and the defense isn't quite as locked in as the Arsenal defense. Would I prefer O'Reilly or Cherki at the moment? Probably Cherki, right, as a additional route into that attack. Yeah, Lafayette, he got 90 minutes, which is good. I think yeah, it's a nice price point, but like yeah, he was pretty anonymous, right? But I think hey, at least he started and got solid minutes, right? Yeah, kind of we spoke about Saka, we spoke about Semenyo, so kind of happy I kept him. Cunha didn't really do much, right? So you got a yellow card to boot. We'll see. Newcastle are a good team, right? So we'll see how he performs against Wolves, Leeds, and kind of Burnley. But yeah, all in all, you know, poor week. Got a few returns, which is nice. But yeah, kind of poor week, and yeah, got a few problems with my team now, right? So I think no particular order. Richards looks like he's going to be out for a little bit longer. Rodon looks like he's going to be out as well. Gooey doesn't start, so I'm like really thin, kind of rotation wise. Van Dijk is getting frustrating for sure. For sure. Semenyo's fixtures. Semenyo's in form, but his fixtures, as we spoke about earlier, Chelsea away, Arsenal, Spurs, Brighton, Liverpool. That's a tough run. Are there better options there? Like he's perfectly fine, right? But like, yeah, are there better options? Ekatike, Lefebvre, you know, my kind of final starter, right? Lefebvre is where there's a weakness, right? So I've got a few problems to kind of like consider. I was maybe a little bit frivolous with the transfers this week, given that I would have probably net better just like doing the one move, or indeed like the two moves. All those would have paid off a little bit more. So it was a bit frivolous getting in Ekatike, but hey, let's see if he can get a brace against Leeds, which wouldn't be the
He
most
did last
surprising.
time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, he looked good. He looked good. But yeah, probably not worth the sacrifices that I made. But yeah, mate, that's me, right? So still an okay
Fortunate.
position. I don't think it's
Really,
necessarily unfortunate because it's like they're going to strike for a team that's not the best in the league, and like he's not on penalties either. So yeah, I kind of like just kind of felt it'd be fun bringing him in. So yeah, let's see what happens after they
I think the
play
unluckiness.
Burnley.
Yeah, I'd say he's got two home games against promoted clubs, right? Coming up in the next four. But I think your unluckiness is more, Richards injured midweek in Europe, and then Rodon
Mm.
injured this week during the kind of the good Leeds played. Sunderland during the Sunderland game in the first half. So it's been pretty unlucky for you, and two of your bench options both wiped out. So appreciate that's not ideal for you. So yeah, I want to touch on something that you've just brought up, mate. You mentioned, would you rather have Cherki or O'Reilly? Now, for the first time in a while, mate, I've stopped being lazy. I've decided to pull a few slides together. Hopefully, you can see them. And the first thing I want to talk about is Foden versus Cherki. Now, your answer might be both, mate. When I'm looking at them, they're both playing obviously midfield for City. Cherki's now decided, or Prep, should I say, has now decided. Now Cherki isn't in my squad to give him pretty much 90 minutes every game. So I wanted to compare the two and ask you, which do you think right now is the best option? So Foden on the left, Cherki on the right. There is a £2.3 million difference. But from the stats, mate, that you can see on your screen, it looks as though if you want goals, you go for Foden. If you want assists, you go for Cherki. But looking at this, mate, who for you is the one that is, if you've got to pick, you have to pick one. Who do you want?
I don't think it's really a trade-off, right? I think it's quite clearly Foden just because of history and longer term form, right? I think yeah, last three. Let's kind of ignore the last kind of three. We kind of Foden's stats have been okay, right? But he's quiet against Palace, quiet against West Ham. Had a good game against Nottingham Forest. Could have got a return. I mean that's coincided with Cherki playing a bit more central, Foden kind of outside a little bit. So it looks like they've kind of rotated and shifted roles a little bit potentially, right? So I think it's not a coincidence that Cherki's done very good the last three. His stats been kind of exceptionally good. Foden's had a little bit of a drop off, but I think just because of like how much faith I'd put in minutes, I'd still favour Foden. Now, the question of having both of them, I think that's where it gets a bit more interested. And I think I would probably consider if I didn't have O'Reilly in my team. Like, who would you? Yeah, my question for you: who would you have as your third Manchester City player, Cherki or O'Reilly?
I don't know whether I've got the. I don't know whether I want three City attackers. Yeah, I'm looking at those fixtures. Away Sunderland, not easy. They've proved they can handle big teams. They drew with Arsenal. They drew with Liverpool. They've also got to go to Old Trafford. They've got Chelsea in the next four. So yeah, I don't think I'd be and Brighton as well, who just give Arsenal a bit of a scare at the weekend. So I don't think I want three City attackers for that run of games. If I'm honest, would you want three?
I wouldn't be well. I wouldn't be averse to it. Like, I mean, it's months before, since they haven't scored more than 2 goals a game, right? So I think it's in the Premier League, that is. So yeah, I think it's still going back at game week 14. They scored 5, 3
You
in
look at
game
it,
week 14. Yeah, they've scored. They're scoring a lot of goals. Yeah, so you got to go back to game week 12 and Newcastle away where they lost 2-1. For them not
yeah,
to have scored more than 2 goals in a Premier League game. I think, yeah, I kind of, I don't think it's worth moving the players around the transfer. But I think, yeah,
yeah,
Cherki's clearly a really good option for a sub 7 million midfield option, right?
it's
Versus
crazy, isn't it?
some others out there. So I think obviously you went a little bit too soon on him, but I think the other circumstances have kind of like emerged since then, right? But has made him a better option. But yeah, I mean, Foden's clearly the better option for minutes. But yeah, Cherki, I was kind of say I put him at rank him as third in terms of best Man City options right now.
I'm looking at it, mate, and I'm looking at that expected goal involvement per 90 of 0.73 for a £6.7 million midfielder.
Hmm.
That's outrageous value.
Yeah, defo.
Defcon, by the way, I've not put Defcon in the table, but they're pretty much level. 6.91 for Foden per 90, 6.92 for Cherki per 90. So neither here nor there. Expected points over the last 4 game weeks: 20.4 for Foden, 28.3 for Cherki. So he might be the guy on form. But yeah, so for you, get both from the sounds of it.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's an opportunity. Yeah, I wouldn't be trading Foden out.
Yeah, feels horrible to trade him out
I,
at the especially at the ownership level he's at. That could hurt.
yeah, I think we had a similar debate last week around Saka versus Rice. I think I prefer
Yeah,
that's a bigger price difference, and I think I prefer that move to save money if you're looking to save money rather than
yeah,
Foden to Cherki. Yeah, I don't think it's a option of one or the other. It's a question of maybe both.
nice. Okay. I also want to look at this Newcastle and Man United. I'm looking at fixtures specifically. And when it comes to the table, these two seem to be nearer the top, especially for the next 3 games. Man United have Wolves at home, then Leeds and Burnley away, but they do follow that up with City, so nice three. Whereas Newcastle have Burnley away, Palace and Leeds at home, and then Wolves. And I've picked out a few options, mate. There might be some others that you want to look at, but for United, I've pulled Cunha and Dallo, who seem to be statistically anyway, the best from an attacking and defensive point of view. And then across Newcastle, I've got Golden, Voltamade, and Lewis Hall. Um, you've already got Cunha. I imagine you're pretty happy with him. You can see over the next 4 game weeks, he's expected to get 15.3 points, but 0.5 expected goal involvement per 90 for Cunha, which pretty steady considering it and a low ownership. So a nice differential for you.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of quite shocked at his kind of ownership levels. What's he sitting at now? 11.5. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer until kind of Bruno's back. So yeah, I'm kind of happy being there. But we'll kind of see whether the rest of the United squad have got enough to create chances to him, and or is he going to have to go quite deep to get the ball and make the plays. But yeah, I'm kind of very happy Cunha. Let's assume he'll be on penalties as well. Yeah, so I think he's the number one pick. Dallo, I think the interesting thing about Manchester United is I don't know if I trust their defense. I think it's been up and down, but yeah, statistically it's not the worst. It's not the worst. Dallo was nice. I think he's clearly the best defensive option. But I think honourable mentions should go to those one and play a bit bolder, as like Dorgu. Was a bit of recency bias here, but he obviously scored the 17 points against Newcastle, but was playing as that wing backs kind of come winger, like kind of really nice looking stats there. Presumably with Mbumo and Ahmad not being around, he's going to be nailed. I think the only kind of like thing of that's a downside of him is that he could miss game week 20 if he gets a yellow card, because I think he's one away from that suspension. So I think honourable mention there, and then also Heaven as well, right? Aiden Heaven, right? Who's kind of played. Yeah, exactly. So he's played the last three. I think he's good for another game week at least. I think who'd be the player coming back? Probably Maguire, right? When Maguire's back, I'd imagine he'd be starting. But yeah, 3.8 mil. Like if you need to plug a gap, just some funds, get some funds at least for like one game week or a couple of game weeks. Yeah, it's nice little option, right?
Might be in that position. So he's definitely on my radar, especially if this game against Wolves at home. It's just to compare Dallo and Dorgu. So expected goal involvement per 90 for Dallo 0.2. Dorgu is 0.21. So a little bit extra. But now, as you say, mate, Dorgu is playing further forward. Okay, so he's probably a future transfer you need to make when the players return from AFCON, but he's playing further forward. So he's looking pretty sharp. Or he could be your bench fodder, make him your fifth defender. There's also an option, of course, and just bench him. But I was looking at Dallo, mate, 5 assists for a defender.
Yeah.
One every 4 games for a £4.5 million defender at that. Decent returns. And he's got a goal. So he's on my list.
Yeah, lot to like, and I think likewise, Newcastle got a wonderful run of fixtures, right? So I think like Gordon, like Voldemar, they were like really like Hall. I think Tiao's the other one, right? If you want a kind of central defender with a bit of attacking potential and DEFCON opportunity, it's kind of a wonderful run. And I think for both Newcastle and Manchester United, it's now's the right entry point. Wolves at home, Burnley away. Nice kind of like nice runs there. And we spoke about Gordon last week. I think he's certainly in my thinking now. Lots of like there.
Honestly, that shocked me. That, mate. Look, adding them up, I've called the wrong thing green. Gordon's actually got the best expected goals per 90 data, but he is on pens. So maybe I'll just use that excuse. I've coloured the one that's the non-pen XG for Voltamade at top. But for Gordon, 0.71 expected goal involvement per 90. That shocked me. That's high considering he's only had 4 returns all season.
Well, he hasn't played. That's the problem. He's been injured, right? But I think what was good was against Manchester United. He played the full game. I think previously he was getting subbed early, right? Which is at the like return to match fitness, kind of after taking. He missed the start of the season, didn't he? He had a little run of 8 games, then he missed like another another month or so. So yeah, it's kind of good to see him get his minutes. And I think again, I'm looking at his stats down here now. Involved, right? Involved. So yeah, 0.5. Expected goal.
He's not missing pens either. The guy keeps scoring them, so I'm assuming he is definitely still going to remain the taker.
There's a lot to like, and then kind of like Hall. Since Hall is going to be playing, like he's the best defender anyway, so he'll be playing, but he's got no competition at fullback because everyone's injured. And he's been putting up some impressive stats again, I think, in terms of sacking potential and really nice run, really nice run. Manchester United, that Newcastle have slightly longer term nice fixtures, don't they? It lasts a little bit longer there. They're good. So I think nice little list here. I'd add Dorgu and Heaven from a Manchester United perspective, and I'd add probably Tiao from a Newcastle perspective.
Get it. Well, just off the form, expected points over the last 4 game weeks. Cunha tops the list across both teams, 29.4. Gordon not too far behind him, 25.8. Dallo 22.3. Clearly, in a bit of form, and then there's a bit of drop off. Baltimade is fourth with 16.7. So yeah, if there's a way of getting Cunha, Gordon, Cherki, and Foden into your midfield, might not be the worst midfield for the next couple of game weeks.
Yeah, to be honest, if I was targeting a player now, I'd prefer Cunha and Gordon over either or of them. I mean, I'd put them as the two midfielders to be considering.
Top on your wish list.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, agree, mate. I have neither, so very much interested in getting hold of both of them. Well, that brings us on to team reveal, mate. Let's see what you want to do in game week 19, or do you want me to go first?
Let's mix up. I'll go first, mate. I'll go first. Just completely unprepped. So let's see what we come up with. So hopefully you can see my screen.
We can indeed.
Cool. So this is how I'm lining up right now. So at the moment, if those like to see it, I've got 4-4-2, Raya, Van Dijk, Anderson, O'Reilly, and injured Richards as my defenders. Saka, Cunha with vice captain, Semenyo and Foden as a midfield four. Ekitike and Haaland up front with Haaland with the captain's armband. Now bench Dubravka, Lefay, Rodon, and kind of Gui. So looking at my starting 11, let's talk about some of the issues that we've got. So Richards isn't going to play, right? I think that's going to be honest there. So he's a problem. Ideally don't want Lefay against Manchester City, kind of starting, right? So that's a problem. Van Dijk is a problem, right? But you think you'd give him Leeds.
Yeah.
Especially with Gabriel back for Arsenal now, right? And let's see if he starts another game, right? Because he was on the bench. He was forced to come on because of was it Calafiori's injury in the warm-up, right? So let's see if he's straight back in, Gabriel. But you could probably give, especially given the form that Villa are in, quite fortunate form, right? But I think it's a desperate move to bring in Gabriel this week. So you can probably give Van Dijk another week. Anderson's neither here nor there, but he's ticking along. Then kind of Semenyo is an opportunity, I think, right? I think as well. I'm in a nice position. I've probably got the three best captaincy options in Cunha, Ekitike,
nice.
and Haaland.
So I think about that.
I think it's not going to be Ekitike. It's probably between Cunha and kind of Haaland, right? It's currently on Haaland.
Cunha seems like this. Yeah, sorry, mate. I think Cunha seems like the sort of player that will score against his former club. He just feels like one of those players.
Yeah, I think why you've got him is it's going to be Haaland's been the biggest troll, I think, for me for this FPL season. Is whenever I've gone against him, he's captain. Whenever I have captained, he's kind of blanked, right? It was just the doubt. I don't have people that can create Cunha chances, right? Or was he going to be dropping deeper, right? Without Mbumo, they're without Fernandez, of course. They're without Ahmad, who's quite creative. They're potentially without Mount. Mount went off, didn't he? I think they looked a lot better with Mount playing. So I could keep an eye on Mount if Mount is playing. Otherwise, it's looking quite okay. Who's actually going to be helping this guy create chances? Whereas Haaland is kind of just surrounded by quality players, right? So that's a decision, right? I don't know. I'll go Ekitike. It's just he gets subbed. I think he will continue to get subbed, right? He's getting good minutes now. It's not he's getting subbed at 60 minutes, but he is getting subs and presumably isn't on penalties, right? So I think Cunha and Haaland, I'd be going with the pen takers. Now, moves that I've got planned or potentially considering. Let me show you a few. Yeah, and not surprising, they're all considering Newcastle and Manchester United players, right? Just because of the quality of the fixtures. So I could do. Let me show you. Well, I could go Richards to Dallo. Nice and easy. Yeah.
Nice.
I could go Rodon to Dorgu.
Yeah.
Nice again. Nice and easy. Nice and straightforward. I could go. Semenyo would be my cash cow in most scenarios, right? I could go. Let me play with something that the moves I like. I could go Semenyo's Gordon. I could go. Yeah, I could go Richards to Dalot. Rodon is a bit wasted. He's not really doing anything on my. I don't really ever want to play him, and he's in. So I could go Dorgu. Unfortunately, I can't quite squeeze to Dalot. That would be like an absolute no-brainer if I could. But yeah, Dorgu, like for the short-term upside, that's quite nice, right?
Yeah. I think
Hall's
going to be over 5 million, isn't he? I assume.
Yeah, he's 5.2, right? So I think that's quite nice. Or I could go to Dalot option for kind of like for Richards. And both keeping an okay structure for my kind of wider team. I could also equally go because I do like Hall. I could go.
Bad then. Not bad that swap, mate. As long as you're happy getting rid of Semenyo.
Oh, I'm happy using him as a cash cow.
Yeah.
So that would be probably Tiao. Because I haven't been monitoring price moves, but Tiao I think has a bit of a downgrade, and I could go. Well, I could go Szoboszlai and Hall actually. I'm sure those
back served as Ben.
Yeah, I think just what I don't like about Szoboszlai is just like the lack of attacking threat outside of penalties, right? And the tendency just to go to become a like deep blind midfielder or a right back. But if I feel confident he's going to be playing attacking, that's nice. And that's more solid longer term. That's more solid longer term, right? Neither of them are going to be problems. Are they? They're always going to start.
Yeah. Some Liverpool insight for you. Not that I've got slot on tap. Obviously Bradley's back. Frimpong is back. We started Chiesa at the weekend and he was poor. I see Szoboszlai going straight in a right wing.
Yeah,
and even if Frimpong gets injured, Bradley's there on the bench.
Yeah.
You're safer than you were with him. I appreciate you got stung with him on your free hits, but I think you're safer now that he plays further forward. Yeah.
So essentially, you're playing for a Liverpool winger with some nice fixtures, right, and a nice entry point at Leeds, and it is nice fixtures because you just stretch it out, right? You include that Burnley game, it becomes nice, right? That's an exit point in game week 23 or game week 24, right? So that's kind of nice. So I think the models, right, if you're kind of shoving this into like a AI tool, I think would probably suggest these moves, right? Just because you can see how it just like two solid players, right? Yeah, I think that's a nice move to be fair. Yeah, I think who else can I get for if I'm bringing? I do like Gordon though.
Yeah. And his pens, so you're not losing that out. And he loves to win a pen, does our Gordon.
For sure. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't stretch it to. It'd be Dalot really. I think as an option. Which again,
United defense, Dalot and Dorgu.
I mean, that'd be frivolous because I wouldn't really. my defense is fine. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm going to play 4-4-2 this game, and like, I think I've blown quite a lot of transfers anyway. I need to start saving transfers to do some kind of big moves. But yeah, I think that those are the kind of moves. So it's like a Semenyo, like going back to my actual team. This kind of final starting position is an issue, right? So I could go Richards to Dalot, Richards to Dorgu, and then if I want to do two moves, like Semenyo is the obvious cash cow for me at the moment, given those fixtures. I know he's scoring, he's doing okay, but look at those fixtures, and who knows? Like they could suddenly start benching him, right? To kind of like if they do want to.
Yeah, he's off. It looks as though he's got 3 games for the max, and then he's going to likely be a City player.
And yeah, if he's a City player, he's not really an option at all, right? Until you see him nailed, right? So, I could go Semenyo to Gordon, Semenyo to Szoboszlai. I think are the options that I've got, like to move it. And then if I go Szoboszlai, allows me to bring in Hall. For Rodon, which is nice. That's nice, and that's a big upgrade. And then obviously this week, obviously Slobozai is better than Semenyo as an asset, and then Hall is certainly better than Richards this week. So yeah, that's kind of a nice upgrade. And then like longer term, obviously stating the obvious here, I kind of want to be looking at how to get Gabriel back. Got loads of routes, right? I could go O'Reilly down to a player, Richards down to a player, Anderson down to a player, and then you've got Van Dijk as the out. Ekatike could go down. I think longer term, I think I'm not going to stick around with Ekatike. I do think forwards are kind of not a great option, right? So yeah, Ekatike goes down to Obi or one of these like 4.2, 4.3 strikers, right? Then I can get anyone right within 2 moves. So it's all good. So that's how I'm lining up. So I've got a few little moves. What one? What one do you prefer out of do you prefer Gordon and Dorgu, right? Or do you prefer Slobozai and Hall?
Gordon and Hall. Jerry, you can't do. I don't trust the United defence enough, to be honest, to keep clean sheets. And that said, I mean, Newcastle have hardly been drowning in clean sheets since the injuries.
Dorgu is a player that will just be there as the kind of like perma bench person, right? And I'll play him this week, right, against Wolves at home as a winger, and then if he plays Leeds and Burnley, brilliant. But it's like not an absolute necessity, right? Obviously, it's a transfer waiting to happen down line. Whereas Hall and Stobbs, I can sit him. They can sit in my team for like 10 weeks. Gordon,
You could afford though. You could afford to go to Gordon and then get Dallo, right? Because I prefer that. I think you'd have the money in the bank. Might be wrong.
Not the preferred route. I could get rid of Richards.
Oh yeah, 0.1 shy, aren't you, from Rodon?
Which is always the case. But like, because Richards, like, it doesn't sound like it's who knows? It could be one of these injuries that keeps ticking. But like, again, if you can bench him for a week or two, he's like long term a fine player, right?
Yeah.
Very
absolutely.
Very good player. Whereas Rodon, Leeds defense is kind of really poor. Rodon doesn't particularly do. People think he's great because I think there was a random week early in the season where people got some bench luck, right, when he came on after he scored like the only goal of his career. Like, he's not a good player. Leeds are a bad defense. He's not doing anything, right? So I think, I think if I was Gordon and Dallo would be the move, but I can't afford that.
Yeah.
I could if I got rid of Richards.
Yeah. Okay. Well, to answer then, I think I'd still prefer to get Gordon in, to be honest. And so I'd go Gordon and Dorgu. That'd be the two I'd go for.
I think I'm tempted as well. I think Liverpool still don't look good today.
Yeah, they don't. They're looking leaky. First half against Wolves looked fine. Second half looked dreadful. So
leaky doesn't matter,
happened,
right? As long as they're looking attacking, but I don't think they're looking that good attacking either.
And if they do, it's not really, other than pins, it's not really Szoboszlai that gets the returns anyway. Whereas Gordon's heavily involved in the Newcastle attack, much more so than Szoboszlai is in the Liverpool one. So I think Gordon's a much better pick than Szoboszlai personally. Now, I know I said this about Wirtz last week, mate, and it turned around and he scored. So apologies if Szoboszlai ends up being the goal scorer. But yeah, you're not missing out on the pen taker because Gordon still takes pens. I think the difference between Gordon and Szoboszlai is then worth going for Dorgu over Hall. That's in my head.
Hall as well is just an excellent asset.
Yeah.
Hall is an excellent FPL asset, and I think is probably going to explode pretty soon. I can't get Gordon and Hall really unless I was getting rid of O'Reilly and Van Dijk. It's going to be one of those. It's going to be Gordon and Dorgu, or Szoboszlai and Hall. I think are the options.
Yeah.
So I think both are tidy options, and I think both will have some sound logic behind them. One will be a bit of a longer term play. One will be a bit of a shorter term punt. So yeah,
Get it, mate. Get
that's where
it. I like it. I'd be happy with both of them, both of the transfers. I'm just leaning towards Gordon, probably for bias reasons, mate, because I'll share mine. He's very much in my thoughts for my team. Hopefully, you can see if I click the right button. That'd help. This is my current game week 19, halfway through the season, mate. After this game week, halfway through. So similar sort of setup to you. The in terms of the defence, Raya, O'Reilly, Virgil, both there. I am currently starting Keane over the likes of Anderson. I just feel like the Everton defence can keep people out. They've proved it away from home this season. Keane seems to be on DEFCON pretty much every week, although Anderson does get DEFCON as well. Once you're on the back of a 10-pointer, I think I've got to go with Keane. Across the midfield, I've started Wilson, Semenyo, Foden, and Saka, and then up front I've got Ekatike, Thiago, and Haaland, Esteve, and Devaney complete the bench. Not, I don't hate the team, mate. There's a couple of pain points I've got. Semenyo is one based on fixtures. He's also potentially off to City. I'm also not massive on keeping Wilson. I think I was a bit quick to bring him in. Okay, he managed to get me an assist, and his expected goal involvement this week was a lot better than it was last week. But those fixtures, mate, Palace away, Liverpool, Chelsea, Leeds away, aren't great. Not horrendous given his price points, but they're not great fixtures. If I could do something with him, maybe I will. And then I've got Virgil van Dijk, same as you, for a £5.9 million defender. He's just not giving me the returns I want. 2, 2, 6, 2, 4, 6, 3, 1. They're not great. There's players at the 4.5 million mark that are getting returns like that. So why spend the extra budget on it if you don't have to? So they're the kind of headaches I'm looking at. You'll probably notice the captaincy armband is currently on Ekatike. I don't know whether I'll be running the Haaland gauntlet because, like you, mate, anytime I've decided to go against him, he's in recent weeks he's pulled in points, and then when I've captained him, he hasn't. So I captained him probably same as you against Leeds, 2 points, Sunderland at home, 2 points, and Forest 2 points. Didn't captain him. Fulham 14, Palace 13. I must have captained him against West Ham, to be fair, but missed out on those two tougher fixtures. And I look at Forest away, Sunderland away, sorry, as a tougher fixture. I think they've proven this season that they're probably the best of the promoted teams without a doubt. But they're starting like sixth in the league. They're proven hard to break down. They got points, as I said before, against Liverpool. They got points against Arsenal. So they're proving that they can hold their own. So at the minute, I'm on Ekatike.
Yeah.
Whether I stay there is a different matter. But that's currently where I'm at. In terms of transfers, couple of things I'm thinking. Same as you, Semenyo could be a cash cow. Something I could do, which I haven't really thought about until we've just started chatting, is if I really wanted Cherki to get him in, well, I could sell Wilson. I could then downgrade O'Reilly to somebody at the 4.5 mark. So quite easily go and get Dallo. Then I might end up with 3 City attackers. Don't hate that as a move, and then gives me a nice option to still in my defence. Virgil will start, Dallo will start. I'll still start Keane.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cherki comes in instead of Wilson. I think that's an upgrade.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
But
That's
I
quite a big
do.
one.
Go on, sorry, mate.
That's quite a big one, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a big jump to get him in. Now I do also like Gordon. I also don't have Cunha, who I'd quite like. So Semenyo's the cash cow. I drop him and I bring in Cunha. I need to save myself 0.1 million somewhere. Now, unlikely I'm going to get that out of Wilson. It'll probably have to be one of the defenders, but I could end up doing, for a couple of game weeks whilst Haven's playing, put him in instead of Esteve. Then all of a sudden I'm playing probably O'Reilly, Van Dijk, and Haven at the back. Might even play Keane over Wilson. I don't know. We'll decide if I do that as a transfer, but that again is in 2 moves. They also like Gordon now. Good news for Gordon is Semenyo to Gordon's 1 move because he's cheaper, and then it leaves me 0.2 in the bank. So if I wanted to do something else, I could do 0.6 in the bank. Sorry, so it's quite a nice amount of money. if I wanted to do something else. So I could make Esteve Dallo as an option. Big upgrade then in the defensive side. Could do that. I could, if I really wanted to push it, mate. Is it what was over, mate?
You probably get Van Dijk to Gabriel. Could use that free cash
with the extra money. Yeah, could do. So I could just leave him in, and then yeah, that does that for when the Arsenal fixtures turn. When are we looking? Probably game week 22, is it? They get Forest, United, Leeds, Sunderland. Maybe look to bring him back there. Something if I really wanted to push it. Gordon out, Wilson out. I could then do. Cunha's probably going to be a bit too expensive because all of a sudden I need to save myself £1.8 million from somewhere, and I can't really see a nice place to do it. So I think I'm maybe priced out of Cunha, or it's Cunha or Gordon. If I wanted to bring Cherki in, I could, and then I only need to find myself 0.4, so then it'd be O'Reilly down to somebody to make sure I have enough. I don't think that's worth a hit, if I'm honest. It seems like I'm forcing it a little bit.
That's crazy.
So I think realistic.
You had 5 transfers a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I hate Pep so much, man. Cherki start 5 in a row. I bring him in. He gets benched both games, and then as soon as I sell him, he's played every single game. It's so frustrating. But hey, look, I've got Foden, so I've got Foden points in the meantime. So I think realistically, mate, it's going to be either Wilson to Cherki and then O'Reilly down to Dallo, or it's going to be Semenyo to one of Gordon in one move, or to Cunha, and then I need to save myself 0.1 million, and that could easily be, as I say, a Steffi to Haven, dead easy. It could be, if I really wanted to do, Van Dijk could become Canate. Feels like a waste if I'm honest, so I probably won't do it that way. But I quite like the first one because I'm getting rid of Wilson and I'm bringing in Cherki. But then I'm missing out of interest. If I get rid of Wilson, Wilson becomes Gordon. How much money do I need to save somewhere? 1.3. Anyway, you're looking going, that's an easy 1.3 million save there. I don't think there is.
Well, Semenyo would be the option, wouldn't it? I think.
Yeah.
But the problem you got 3 forwards, right?
Yeah. I don't plan on selling this game week. Even the next few, Thiago, Tottenham, Everton, Sunderland, nice enough. Obviously, Haaland's going nowhere. Ekitiko after this. Okay, Arsenal away's coming up. He's got Burnley after that. So don't see me selling any of them for the next couple of game weeks, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think Semenyo to Gordon or Cunha is probably the best option. I think everything else is probably a bit wasted. The gain is marginal.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll end up being. So it'll end up
probably
replace Semenyo with.
I think Cunha is clearly the best option. It takes you two moves for you to get there, right? So I think Gordon is just the one move, and then you got 2 transfers next week then to play around with stuff.
Yeah. Or I won't, but I could do Foden to Cherki, Wilson to Cunha. I won't do that. Feels a waste.
You could bring him Rice, couldn't you, for Saka?
They could, yeah. That give me 3 million. I don't think I'm going to do that either because then get rid of. What I need to see, mate. What I need to see is another penalty where both Saka and Gyökeres are on the pitch, because Saka's took a few, Gyökeres took the most recent one. I want to know, was it a one-off or is the mantle been passed? And if the mantle's been passed, it's an easy move, isn't it? Both taking set pieces. Saka's no longer got the pens. Rice will get DEFCON. Far more than Saka will get DEFCON. So
for sure. I actually kind of think probably the Gordon move. I wouldn't push that on your team actually, just because he does have competition, doesn't
he? Yeah, Langer's there. Obviously, Barnes, Murphy, quite a few.
They all could play. And this is the time to kind of. Semenyo's going to play every game until he's away, right? So I think the Cunha is going to play every kind of thing. So I think actually, talking out loud, as much as I kind of like him as an option, I think Cunha's better in your team. Probably Szoboszlai and Hall is better for me. Actually, talking that out loud.
Yeah.
You imagine how
Guaranteed.
there's nothing wrong with Semenyo, is there? At the moment.
No, he scored 3 in a row. Chelsea, they're letting goals. Just conceded twice against Villa. Last game week, done wrong. I appreciate Villa are a fairly decent side.
Yeah.
But even the week before that, they conceded 2 against Newcastle. So it's.
So I think I'm talking myself into landing on
score.
Szoboszlai and Hall, and I think you're talking yourself to either the Cherki move in for Wilson, which is that's nice, and because you get Dallo as well, or the Cunha and Haven move.
Yeah, I feel like Cunha's a really nice option these next 3 game weeks.
He's not getting 90. There's going to be a benching. Like I didn't really appreciate how close these fixtures are. Right, it's crazy, right? The kind of game weeks, how thick and fast they're coming in. It's we've got one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then it's Saturday. So the Tuesday. Then it's Saturday.
Then it's Tuesday again.
Tuesday.
Then it's Saturday. 4 in the space of about 10 days or something.
Exactly, and I think if you're what Gordon's minute's going to be? He's played 190-minute the whole season.
Yeah. It's a nice option, but I do think Cunha's gonna bang this weekend anyway. Whereas, as you say, I'm just bringing up Gordon's stats. He doesn't really get anywhere near DEFCON ever. 4, 6, 6, 5. And okay, that might be a weird thing to say, but Cunha's got a little bit closer. 9, 9, 10, 7. So there's the off chance that he pulls in a defensive contribution compared to the likes of a Gordon.
Well, that's bad. That's a bad thing for him. You want him to just be. I
want goals.
Yeah, exactly. I think just thinking of the fixtures and thinking of the competition that they've got. I think for both of us, actually, Gordon is a little bit. It might come to bite us, right? But there's Voltermade playing as forward, right? Obviously, he can play that. It's Barnes, is Murphy,
Alanga,
who's is he injured? He'd be coming back sometime soon, right? I think he's got a knock knee, but
Wissa's back, obviously from his injury.
He's going to play sometime soon. And it's not just the playing; it's the minutes, right?
Yeah. But Barnes, Murphy, Alanga. Alanga looks like he's got a yellow, but like 75% chance of playing, but chance that he'll get on the pitch. But you're right. Gordon will, 90 minutes doesn't happen.
He's going to average 70 minutes. He's going to average 70 minutes over the next couple. So he'll start, but you want those extra minutes. Minutes is really key for FPL. Cunha's going to be 90 minutes if he's not injured, right?
Yeah, Gordon's played 90 minutes twice this season. One happened to be the very first game of the season, and then once was the last game he played. So, but other than that, hasn't played 90.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be forced into doing 2 transfers to be able to afford Cunha, which is really annoying because I could have afforded him as soon as the game week kicked off. Semenyo straight to Cunha was one move for me. I'm now 0.1 million shy, but easy enough to find. As I say, a Stevie down to Haven, solved. But we'll see what happens.
I like it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm missing out on Gordon, but it is what it is. But I appreciate you joining us.
No, I was kind of big for him as well. But I think talking it through, I'd hate getting players perfectly fine for someone who's a minute's risk, right?
Yeah, absolutely get it. I just hope they don't do anything against Burnley. Let's just hope Burnley shut them out and Cunha decides to start.
It is a way, isn't it?
It
is a way.
Yeah, it is a way. It is a way. They just hell. I know Everton aren't the best attack. No offense to Everton fans, but obviously they just kept them to a clean sheet.
Yeah, well, I mean, clean sheet is. I'd be more confident clean sheet. It kind of like it's better having that defenders versus like attackers. Like Burnley, well, I've got bad a few times, but they can keep clean sheets, especially at home. Right? So
Yeah, I'm just looking through. Conceded 3 against Fulham at home, 1 against Palace, 2 against Chelsea, 2 against Arsenal, clean sheet against Leeds, 1 against Forest, 1 against Liverpool, clean sheet against Sunderland. So, okay, there's a one game there where they conceded 3, but they don't concede, buckets of goals at home.
no,
Whereas if you then look at Wolves away, whereas somebody else played a lot of minutes. There we go. So the Wolves away conceded 2 against Liverpool, 2 against Arsenal, 1 against Villa, 3 against Chelsea, 2 against Fulham. Clean sheet at Tottenham. Only 1 at St James's Park. So again, they've not been considering they haven't won a game all season. That's better than I thought it was going to be. In fairness,
yeah, no, you're right. Got a dilemma. We're leaving it on a dilemma.
I'll draw up another rather than Foden versus Cherki. I'll do a next time. I'll do a Cunha versus Gordon graph and see how they compare.
Yeah.
But Matt, appreciate your time, pal. Appreciate you joining us. I don't think we're going to get the chance with mainly me traveling over the new year period to do something like this ahead of game week 20. But I'll, try and do something to my phone ahead of it just to kind of touch on what I'm doing, mate. But we'll catch up. We'll catch up in the new year regardless. So you got any plans for it? Anything exciting?
Oh, playing host, so yeah, having some friends over
Nice.
should be a good one, mate. So yeah, what about yourself?
Uh, my family for Christmas, so my other half's family this for New Year. So got an Indian booked, and then it'll no doubt be board similar to you, mate. Some board games, maybe a couple of
Hmm.
ciders. We'll end up having Jewel Hollands on until midnight. Do Old Lang Syne, and then off to bed for 12:30. Nice and easy.
Ah, good man,
Um,
acting your age. Good man, as you should.
exactly that. Closer, getting close, closing in on 40. So we're getting to that. A couple of years yet. But yeah, mate, wish you all the best if I don't speak to you. I'm sure we will text, but wish you all the best for the new year. Whatever you decide to do with your transfers, hopefully they pay off for you.
Same for you as well.
Thank you very much. And to you, the listener, once again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. As and when it comes, if you did learn anything from us, do give us that like, do give us that subscribe. Really does help us out. And it's free. So yeah, please do that. But whatever you do with your own transfers, may your arrows be green. And we will pick up with you again next year. Until then, all the very